Hey everyone, I'm Nadine and welcome to Bookish Nook. Today I am doing a spoiler-free review of Colleen Hoover's Ugly Love, which just came out August 5th, so that was a few days ago. So let's just dive in. First of all, I gave this book a 5 out of 5 stars, and if I could give it more, I would, because this book is everything and more. First off, I'm going to say also that this book I think is considered new adult. There is mature content and mature sex scenes in here, so if you're a little bit younger, this probably isn't the book for you to pick up. So I'm just going to start with a really brief synopsis. This book follows Tate as she moves to San Francisco and stays with her brother because she decides to do her master's in nursing while working as a nurse, so she's sort of saving up money to find her own apartment. There she meets her brother's friend Miles, and Miles is just like this swoon-worthy guy who is so fantastic and awesome. Now, the reason why I love this book so much is because it's not your typical new adult or any sort of contemporary book. This isn't the only exception to the sort of generic storyline that we've seen over and over, but it is definitely a big exception. And the generic storyline that I'm talking about is the girl has some sort of secret and she's deeply hurt and she can't trust anyone and she can't love anyone, and then the guy slowly brings her out of her shell and she's all whole and new again because of him. That doesn't happen in this book. It is the exact opposite. Tate is simple. She is so, not complicated at all. She's going for her nursing master's, so that's what she wants to do. It's her drive in life. She's so career focused. And then you have Miles, who is so wounded and complex and so mysterious, and you have no idea why he's this way. He's so closed off. He's always got an armor and a wall up, guarding himself from everyone. So Tate is obviously attracted to Miles, and Miles is obviously attracted to Tate, but he's not looking for a relationship, he's not looking for love, he just wants to keep it simple. So they decide to pursue a relationship of friends with benefits. Your typical friends with benefits plot. There is so much else going on in this book that it's not just, they obviously fall in love near the end. There is just so much more to this book than you originally think. What I also love about Miles's character is that he is not the all-knowing sex god that most male characters in these books are. He isn't all experienced. He hasn't been with 50 million other girls to become this sex god, and that is fantastic. There hasn't been many books that I've read where the guy has no idea what he's doing, and that is it's so refreshing to read that. I've read a few books where the guy has no idea what he's doing, and it's so obvious that he has no idea what he's doing, and it was just too much. It was too, shoving in your face, hey look, this guy isn't like every other guy. This book doesn't flaunt that, and it's just so refreshing to read after I've read so much new adult or adult books where the guy is just this awesome sex god and the girl is just swooning after him because of it. You've probably heard me say Colleen Hoover writes gold, and this book is literally no exception. If I use sticky tabs to mark my favorite quotes or favorite parts, this book would be completely sticky tabs. And I kind of regret not doing it because there's just so much in this book that I wanted to go back and reread because it was so fantastic. Her writing is just flawless. There wasn't a single line or a single thing that happened in this book that I didn't like. And this book is told from two perspectives. You get Tate's perspective and you get Miles' perspective. But what's different about Miles' perspective is what you'll find in the second chapter of this book, so it's not spoiling anything, is that Miles' perspective is 6 years earlier. And the way it's written is different. It's not in prose like Tate's, it's in poetry form. It's not really, it's very loose poetry is what I'm trying to say, as you can see. And Colleen Hoover does a fantastic job integrating those two types of writing styles in this book, because you get the original normal one that you're used to with Tate, but then you get this poetry style one with Miles, and it really gets you into a different mindset and a different experience with Miles' point of view. And what I found with the poetry, it made me realize how much more in love he is 6 years ago. You get that literally from the second chapter, so I'm not spoiling anything. but you just get this sense that he is just so desperately in love with this other character from 6 years ago that it really comes across. It's really nice. I mentioned earlier with the sticky notes, I really wish that I would have put some, but I did find one of my favorite little 3 lines, so I'm just going to read them to you really quick just to give you a sense of like the writing style that I'm talking about. He brings his hands up and slides them through my hair, brushing his thumb across my cheeks. He inhales a shaky breath while looking down at my mouth. You make it so hard to breathe. I almost died after reading that sentence, and that's only a little bit into the book, so there's countless other amazing sentences like that. I just want to make a comment about this cover, which is fantastic in its simplicity. You see the water in the bubbles, and the bubbles are like rays, so you can touch them. But I like this cover, and I thought it was awesome, except you don't understand this cover until you read it. And after reading it and seeing this cover, it's so much more touching, it's so much more powerful after you read it. So if you're looking for something that is heart-wrenching and real and so captivating, then you should definitely pick up Colleen Hoover's Ugly Love. This is no different from any of her other books because they're just so profound, and Colleen Hoover has a really great grasp on her characters and on their emotions, especially on their emotions. She is like the emotion queen. So I think this might be my favorite one. I don't know. I really loved Maybe Someday and Hopeless, so it's kind of up there with those. So yes, definitely go read this book. You will definitely not be disappointed. I almost read it in one sitting, but had to like take a break just so I could like savor it because it was just that fantastic.